So obviously if you clicked on this video, you are thinking, or you already are working at Urban Outfitters, so you kind of have a positive view on it, yeah? My dream when I was a teenager was to work at Urban Outfitters. That was 100% going to be my first job, and it ended up being my first job. So, another planned video in my Good Vibes notepad. Right, so the first thing that I loved working at Urban Outfitters is that we get a 40% discount. We get 10% off of sale items, and if it's like in Special Employee Week, we get 40% off of sale items as well, which is absolutely insane. Some items in Urban Outfitters as well, I don't know if you know, but sometimes they go as low as like £1 when they're like just before markout, and markout means that they're no longer going to be sold and they need to be sent back to head office. So always check that sales section. There are no like commission targets or anything like that at Urban. Other places I know, like Victoria's Secret, Pink, June, like other shoe stores, you have certain targets like for each individual to meet, and there was none of that at Urban Outfitters, so it really did make working as a group so much better. You're just kind of like trusted to do a good job, and that's what I like in management. The third thing about working at Urban, and it's probably completely biased to the one I worked at, but it's the people. Like in the 6 months I was there, we had such a turnaround of different people. All of us were so different. And yeah, it just has this amazing chemistry there, and I think part of that is because there is no targets, but also just like the decor in there is so homey and cozy, the music so diverse, it's not just like pop, it's like constant different musics, and I just think it makes for just a good vibe. Like the whole Urban vibe is pretty chill, like cool vibe. And if you're going to work at Urban, they mainly just hire like one kind of person, which does everything. So like you do the tills, you do fitting rooms, you do front cover, back cover, you do clear out, you do like, I mean, even me, like I did cashing up, and I did like, was it service leader? Yeah, service leader. So it's kind of like you're not really like put in a box, like you can grow and all things like that, and it's just whether you like that job satisfaction within yourself or you like that material satisfaction and gratitude, and within that role you get paid by the hour, so you normally get a lot of overtime, because so our lunch breaks were 1 hour, but a lot of the time like you would go late to lunch, so like each shift I would get like 15 minutes extra pay, and that was always paid at 1.5, like an hour and a half over, like, yeah, an hour and a half. So like you always got overtime every single month, and when I left Urban and actually started working for a business that gave me more money than Urban did on paper, I was actually earning less because of how much overtime I got working at Urban. And so obviously you clicked on the video, you just heard all the good things, and you're already wanting to work there, but let me just like ask you to just like stop for a second and think about these things that I'm about to say, okay? Now, I think every single person who's ever worked at Urban Outfitters can agree the biggest annoyance of working at Urban Outfitters is the constant splinters, because everything's made of wood, and it's kind of like not like polished or glazed wood, it's like raw, rough wood. So like the tills constantly, like if you'd be like picking up a bundle of clothes, obviously like the things go under your nails, and or there's constant like splinters and like ouches of the wood. I actually thought this was going to be such like a slandering video, but even like the negatives are like positives, because it's like kind of cute. And I also think that's why there's such a big sense of community working at Urban, is because there are these like mini struggles throughout the day, like the splinters, like everything falling off the hangers, that just like every single person feels that, you know, so it is, oh, it's just cute. I really bloody miss it now. But let me get into the, like, should I even be saying this kind of content of it. Like any capitalist shop, they will overwork you. Yeah, so I didn't know anything about working time directives or like any laws. I just assumed that any store would be adhering to it. Part of the working time directive is you need to have at least 11 hours between shifts to get like your human rest time in. They didn't even give me 11 hours between each shift, and I literally had 3 hours sleep one day, and I went in to work the next day and I was obviously not doing well at all. And I was just speaking to one of my colleagues there, and he was a lot older, but he was like super cool, like, and I told him about this, and I was like, I'm just really tired, like, do you think I could speak to them about it? Like, I don't think I can do it. And he was like, yeah, they shouldn't be making you do that, that's not even 11 hours between your shifts. And then he actually ended up fixing that situation for me, but then my manager came and talked to me about it. She was like, oh, I just assumed that would be okay, like, I'm really sorry we didn't ask you. And I was like, what the hell, like, you know, this is my first job, you're taking advantage of me. Now, I don't know, but in shops you're not allowed to speak about pay, which I think is quite fucked up, because it's like, why? So basically, as a manager of a store, a general store, you get bonuses if you keep payroll down. You manage the rotas, that's what it's meant to be about, is managing better. Sorry for that little break, my mum came upstairs and I find it really awkward to film, especially because I'm talking about a past job. Just get back up, I'm gonna go until she's gone downstairs. Okay, bye. Basically, the issue was I got hired on $6.95, everyone else was paid $7.20, that was fine, I was a newbie, everyone else after me was going to be paid $6.95, right? That would be fair. But no, for some reason, the next person was paid £7, which was still weird because she was still paid not as much as everyone else, but still more than me. And then everyone else hired after her was paid at $7.20 an hour. And we were both kind of like, what is going on? Like, this is not okay. I knew I was a good hard worker, and we didn't have a manager or a team leader for my section, which was women's wear, the biggest part of Urban. So I was kind of like being my own team leader and my own manager as well, which was kind of like, and I was getting the least out of everyone. But yeah, it was just kind of like, what on earth? I ended up leaving there, and then when I handed in my notice, they were like, look, we can't lose you, we'll give you $7.20 an hour. And I was like, if you want to keep me, bloody promote me to the jobs I've actually been doing, like bloody team leader or something, where you get like £8 something an hour. Like, no way. Was not gonna have that kind of disrespect, like, oh yeah, now you're leaving, we'll actually give you the amount of money you're worth. And this is kind of where it got really booky. So I signed a contract, I have a contract copy, they had a contract copy of $6.45 an hour, right? Oh, and by the way, I actually did confront them about this, but they said that there was nothing they could do. So I was like, okay. So then they were like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna pay you $7.20 an hour now anyways, just because like we like did some maths wrong. And I remember like my manager kind of saying to me like, oh yeah, sorry, we didn't see this sooner. And I was like, I put it up to you, but what the hell? They then asked me to sign a new contract because they lost my old one. Bear in mind, I actually returned my $6.95 contract to them, signed in my manager's drawer. How could they have lost that? Like, someone go in the drawer, go flicking through, oh, it's a Japanese contract, let's lose that. Like, there's no way they could have lost that. It was really booky. But I was leaving, I was working my notice, so whatever. And then what's even stranger is that, so another guy who doesn't work there anymore had kind of access to the manager's emails, because he would also send emails and get emails on the same account. And he had said to me that my job were my new job was asking for my reference, saying, look, we've got everything else back for Jasmine, we just need this reference, can you fill out this form? And they didn't for months. They obviously knew that without that reference I wasn't going to be able to leave that job. And it was just so like kind of just booky, like booky. But like I said, the people, like, I got on with everyone so nicely. And then I went to another job in the NHS, and I stayed there for a year, and then I hated that job, so I wanted to go back to Urban. So I got in touch with my old manager. He was like, absolutely, we'll have you back. And I was like, the only thing is I can't make Boxing Day, and I know that's the retail heaven, like, I understand if you don't want to take me back because I can't make Boxing Day. And he's like, no, that's absolutely fine, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So like emailing back and forth, and I said, look, I have a 1 month notice period on my job, but I'm happy to work for you during that 1 month, so I'd happy to work on the weekends, but if not, then I can start working for you after that 1 month. And he was like, cool, that's absolutely fine. And then I sent an email back to that, and so we were like emailing like really quick replies. But I think he said to me that I would get paid $6.95 an hour. And I was 20 at the time, and it was like Christmas was just right around the corner, and my birthday was in February. So I said to him, like, okay, I get that, but however, when I worked at Urban before, they kind of said they mixed it up and I was the lowest paid and blah, 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 blah. And then I said, I've reached out to some other people who are currently working at Urban and they are getting $7.20 an hour. So I literally said, like, I'm happy to get $6.95 an hour, but will that change when I turn 21 in February? Will I then get the new minimum 21 age pay of $7.20 an hour? And then I got an email back, like, a month or so later, and I was ringing the store in the meantime, like, hello, is the person available to speak? He never was available to speak. And then I got an email back a few months later saying that actually if I was to work my notice with my current job at the NHS and work at Urban in the meantime, it would make me a bad worker because I'd be too burnt out, and he didn't want to offer me the job anymore. And I was like, what? Like, I said to you that I would work, like, I could work my notice with you, or I could just work my notice with the NHS and then go straight to work with you full time. And he replied like a month later, so like I could have already worked my notice with the NHS and then be working at Urban. And it's like he didn't even want to give me an interview for this job, like he literally just said I had it. So it wasn't like there was like any other candidate that like I was like running against. So it was really, really strange, and I think the pay thing really kind of got to him. But I don't know, I heard he was leaving, so I don't know what the politics was there. But it kind of just made me think like, no, I'm good, like, you're not going to effing appreciate me. I don't want to work somewhere where I'm being minded that I'm lesser than everyone every single day. And that kind of, like, I know a lot of places don't let you talk about pay, and I just think that's so wrong because, like, why? Like, just be transparent, you know? Like, I get... Like, if they were honest with me from the beginning and said, like, Jasmine, you're just not up to the scratch that everyone else is, like, fine, but let me know and then I'll work harder, you know? I think the rumour running around was that the head of Urban was, like, a Trump supporter, and he, like, used to go hunting, and he's this, like, proper, like, hillbilly American, like, businessman. So that kind of, yeah. I do want to work for a company that supports Trump. And also, like, it's really interesting to see that, like, one of the other managers was, like, really, like, a people person. She was really transparent, and she was saying that some of the items they sell, like Urban owns, cost like a penny for Urban to make, and they sell them for about £10. So there's like a 90 or 99% profit margin, which is just absolutely insane. And the quality of stuff at Urban I don't even think is that good. I will give it to them that their stuff is a lot of the time original. You can get very classic stuff there. The Urban Renewal is great. You can get brands there. It's a really cool place to shop. Oh yeah, how did I actually get the job? My Urban was in like a massive shopping mall, so I printed off loads of CVs and handed out to loads of shops there. But the trick is, a lot of people do this, and we used to get CVs constantly. Don't ask, in my opinion anyways, don't ask for the manager, because the managers are busy and it's just effort, you know. So what I did is I queued up at the checkout and I had one CV in my hand. What so many people do is they'll stand there with like a billion CVs and be like, here, I really, really want to work with you guys, like, please take my CV. And it's like, well, who are all these CVs for then? Like, you're obviously not passionate, you know? And I was like, oh, hi, I hope you're having a nice day. Sorry, I know it was a big queue, but I really want to hand my CV and just like let me know if there's anything else I can do. All my contact numbers are on there. And they were like, cool. We used to always get CVs and keep them near the cash register. And if we'd get them, you'd kind of put like a tick if you liked them, or like a little comment saying was really polite or looked really cool or really excited to work here. And also go on your own. A lot of people go in with friends, but yeah, so go on your own, look. I mean, I'm shy as whatever, I'm a very, very awkward person, but just kind of like own yourself, you know, like even if you don't wear an outfit that's like from that store, at least wear an outfit that makes you feel good and confident and that you like. Yeah, hand your CV in, and then they didn't get back to me for a while, and then she called me up and was like, do you want to interview you? And I think it was like 2 days time, and I was like, yep, absolutely, I'm free. So I cancelled my plans, got my whole outfit ready, and I wore kind of like smart casual, so I think I wore like green trousers, I wore like a red like teddy, lace teddy, and then like a white shirt over the top, so you can kind of see like the teddy through it a little bit. I think I wore hoop earrings and then just like some like pumps on my feet. A lot of people turn out to interviews in like a proper suit, or at least for urban, like that's not really the urban vibe. Like you can tell that you're taking it really seriously, but it also shows that you don't know too much about the brand. Yeah, and then I guess in the interview, it's just classic interview things: eye contact, asking questions, acting excited if you don't know, like just asking. Like, they're like, oh, do you know the history of urban? Was one of my questions, and I was like, no, I don't actually. Like, I mean, like I know that it's like a US based brand. I know it's like the very cool vibe, very chilled out, like good for everyone. But then I was like, no, but I don't actually know anything else. So kind of like the tone of voice of like, no, I don't. Oh my gosh, tell me, I really want to know. And uniform wise, I got to pretty much wear whatever I wanted. Literally whatever you want. I think they say try and get things that look like what we sell. But in urban, you can wear anything. Like you can wear brands and say it's from Renewal. You can wear something so one of a kind and original, and just say, oh yeah, it's from our Urban Renewal, which is all the vintage one of a kind pieces. And if you've worked at Urban before, then let me know. Let me know what one you've worked at. And yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck to all your endeavours and trying to find a job. Even if you don't get a job at Urban, I hope you get a job somewhere else that makes you happy. So everything happens for a reason. Remember that if you don't get the job, but if you do, things super congrats as well. Thanks for watching. Bye. In black and white, crystal clear on a starlit night. I know your gorgeous colors. I promise that I'll love you for the rest of my life. There'll never be another. I promise that I'll love you for the rest of my life.